Hi, hello. Welcome to an introduction of Lancer. This is not going to be the most accurate introduction. This is more like your drunk coworker who's come into work hungover, who's just currently talking about whatever they can while you're trying to focus on that checkout aisle. And that thing we're talking about is Lancer. Now, you've clicked on the video, you either know what it is or you're interested in finding out what it is, so let's go over the basic elements of it. The year in setting is 5016 U, under Union, or the founding of Union, which is currently the general biggest human empire, at least that we think. Home base, which is on Cradle, which is what Earth is, just now renamed, and also that year is not accurate. It is not the year 5000. That is after the calendar started to be counted again because humanity did, a whoopsie? They ended up nuking themselves back to a similar Stone Age and collapse of global environments, and some colony ships were sent out a long time ago in a desperate attempt to flee from this. Not all of them worked out, but the population on Earth actually came back, bunkers were opened, tech was rediscovered, and all those communications to those lost colonies mainly came back with messages of desperate call for aid. The people of Earth, in response to this, decided that their main objective was to protect humanity, and namely to keep it unified and protecting Cradle of humanity. So Earth renamed to Cradle, etc. The founding members of Union's response was, if they could not bring back the dead, they would choke the stars with life. Which, I don't know about you, but that just started getting things rolling. But not all of them were dead, and we're gonna skip about 5,000 years of history and briefly run through it. Some major events here or there, some colonies lived, some came back. There was another human empire that set up. They're currently now the Trade Baronies. Trade Baronies are more a pseudo-independent group underneath as a client state of Union, which is more, look, if you wanted more like medieval houses type mechs, Elden Ring with mech combat and mixed of kind of Gundam, go to the Trade Baronies. They've got their own shtick in history. We're not covering that right now. 5,000 years passed, some FTLs discovered, loosely set up in these various bits of gate networks, but the majority of travel is still relativistic, aka under the speed of light or just at. So, time dilation, people aging too fast, or slowly, or, you know, mess up in relativity and a bunch of fun, horrifying sci-fi relativistic implications. There's cryogenic storage, genetic modifications, attempts to convert humans into robots, except, humanity accidentally created eldritch math from another dimension, which is what they use for FDL. His name's Ra. We don't talk about Ra, because Deimos 2 will come for you. Anyway, this eldritch math from another dimension comes in, puts a stop to a lot of humanity's progress in the First Contact Accords to, hey, don't actually, you know, try to elevate humanity or yourselves, just kind of stick where you're at, which kind of put a stagnant on some technology, hence why stuff hasn't really developed that much over the past few hundred years. With an exception. Humanity, of course, doesn't give a crap. Instead, we learned some stuff from that eldritch math, and they call them N.H.Ps, non-human persons, and they're their own other thing. Just think, Lovecraft in a computer that's stored in another dimension, cloud-like, and has been forced to think through human terms. They also break paracausality, or they break causality, which is using the term paracausal like from Destiny, you know. Reality breaking. These are used to power massive computers, massive ship combats that no human computer can keep up with, and in general just break reality when they want it. Though, after all that, you're here for the Mechs, because you are playing as a Lancer, which is the name of the setting, and the role you're going to be playing as. So actually piloting the mech is a very skilled thing. Think pilots from Titanfall 2, except without the actual cool wall running capabilities, because you will be squashed like a bug. If I was to describe, to kind of compare the level of warfare and why mechs are kind of a thing, think of general armies as more being comprised something similar less to the Imperium Man and Knights and more towards the Tau sects. You know, battle suits everywhere and different categories and such. It's kind of more around that angle. That doesn't mean they're not cool and they're not different, because we have your manufacturers, which are also megacorps, which are also factions, but this is going into a long list.
Moving behind the rocks!
Keep going, you're good, you're good, and stop. Don't worry, Captain, we'll buff out those scratches.
IPS-Northstar, or IPS-N, was two massive shipping conglomerates that went together in a union, monopolized, and own a huge portion of Union's actual shipping. And under this, they also have their own mechs and their own chassis and their own blueprints. Think of them as a bit more like sturdier, getting the job done, a bit rusted but reliable. If you want industrial equipment to kick someone's ass, also they have a Doom Guy mech. No, I won't elaborate.
Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
The Smith-Shimano Corporation, which is more, elegant. If I was to compare, it's more like Ferrari of mechs and chassis and components. They're also into eugenics, which, shady corporate stuff. What you gonna do? Sleek, deadly, more your actual Gundam-esque stylings, you know, Smith-Shimano. I mean, hell, there's a Lotus as their icon. You know what you're getting when you get Smith-Shimano.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the mobile infantry and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.
Harrison Armories! Do you like tactical? Do you like industrial warfare? Do you like military cool dudes and cloning your general founder 3 separate times? Are you doing your part? Welcome to Harrison Armories. Left over from the brief fascist phase of Union, yeah, that's a separate thing. Imperialists, conquest, military-industrial capitalists, they got it all. Think if you had a Sherman that was walking on legs, also had a flamethrower, which was powered by Eldritch Math. Now you got Harrison Armories. Or you have a mech that's more gun than mech. It may look more like a mech with a gun on its shoulder. It's more the gun.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
I think I missed him.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love to. How about global thermonuclear war?
Horus. You do not know about Horus. Horus knows about you, though. In the lore, in the brief descriptions they're given, it mentions that when people actually get documents from Horus, it's either elite hackers that have been trying to find or contact Horus, or people who just spontaneously tried to print something else for their mech, and it's a Horus contraption. Horus contraptions are terrifying because they highly use N.H.Ps and paracausal tech. They have a mech which its whole design is to explode. Specifically with you inside it. There's also one with a gun that's not a gun. We don't talk about that gun. Undead, robot, lich, time travel thing, it gets weird with Horus. They also might be working for Ra, they might be a terrorist organization, they might be hackers, they might be people trying to take down Union, they might be corrupted people in Union. We don't know what Horus is.
Marauder Corps, weapons hot! Stand by for Titanfall!
And where do you sit in all this? You are a Lancer. You're an independent mercenary, though you might, depending on how you're playing, actually be under one of these different groups. But in general, you're an independent mercenary who's out for hire as your skills are wanted to actually pilot these mechs under these different groups, under these different factions, some of these independent planets, colonies, people that are still being discovered, people who have been discovered, covering up the one alien race that humanity actually had contact with and then genocided. Welcome to Lancer! Hopefully you have a good time here. Thank you for watching, and I know this didn't cover too many of the details. There is a good deal of lore in Lancer and stuff that's always being expanded upon. It's a relatively new system and only has a few authors behind it, but man, they've been churning stuff out. Not to mention wonderful third-party stuff as well that is printed alongside it. But it's a little underappreciated. I've read through the rules, I've read through some of the lore, I find it really enjoyable, and I hope I can spread some of that joy to you, and I can get more people in on it. So, thanks for watching, and hope to see you out there, Lancer.